Otherwise, it sounds muffled. Checking 1, 2. That's beautiful. Yep. Hi, Steve. Good morning.
How are you?
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning. Good morning and welcome. Good morning and welcome. Good morning and welcome. And we're all actually sitting closer today, which will be nice too. Checking 1, 2, check. Hey Mary,
Testing.
I did have a brief texting conversation with Scott last night. And he said he's still planning on December 10th.
Check 1.
So I don't know, for some reason the third got thrown up. Who knows?
Can I just use a USB?
Sure.
Do you mind? Just
No, not at all. Charge up.
Thank you.
Go for it. Absolutely. Yeah, guys, this is gonna be great. And we could even break it down.
Yeah.
We'll break it down.
Thank you.
Yep.
I expect text message, which may mean that someone's at the door.
Joe, I think is already
Oh,
there.
Joe's out there. Alright. So now we're gonna check this one. Checking 1, 2. Checking 1, 2. This is a test of this microphone. This is a guest microphone, so checking 1, 2. This is a test.
Wow, that's awesome.
Oh, wait till you see it.
Whose is that?
This is the new one.
No, I mean who's?
Oh,
Who's?
me. Oh, this is David's television. Isn't that great?
That's awesome, and it's.
Doesn't it just seem more classy too?
Oh, absolutely.
So PowerPoint, or I should say slide presentation with the projector, those days are limited, if not over. That's if we have a bunch of people, we need a big screen, but this will be fine.
Here's my cheat.
Have you seen it?
No, I didn't look at it.
Oh my goodness, Mary. We
I don't
got
know. Wait, I don't know if I want to know. I don't want to be. That's
You-
what,
you need to.
Oh.
Alright, no, that's good.
Okay.
bam.
And then this
Hey, good morning, Rex. Hi, Rex. Yeah, great. Are you having a hassle finding us here? We're near Highway 100. We're really closer to Watertown Plank and 45.
Watertown Plank and Mayfair Road.
Watertown. Oh,
Tell them it's
Yeah.
right next to the fire
it's right
station.
next to the fire station. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good. Sounds good. See you in a bit. Goodbye. Yep. Alrighty. Bye. Okay. So I'm turning my ringer off then. We can. So let me get the music here. And then.
On Thursdays, Greenfield was Joe. We grouped up with Joe in Greenfield, and we have a meeting on Tuesday nights at Fresh and Green in Oconomowoc. And then we have a Wednesday night meeting in Aurora, which, Illinois, outside of, it's like
You got it.
Chicago. And it's probably gonna blossom into a second Aurora. We're probably gonna have an Aurora
What?
English and Aurora Latin.
Oh, yeah. Well, he'll probably end up doing it on his own
Yeah,
without us even.
yeah,
I mean, that's the goal.
right. So, that's
No,
so,
not
so,
his.
so who's doing
Oh,
what?
but you know, Mary, we should hook Sylvester up with Hugo like as soon as
Yeah.
possible. Because Hugo is so already well versed.
And he's, right,
Totally. We need to do that.
yeah,
Because he could help.
right,
Hugo could help.
right, you
I forgot about that.
Where is he?
Here's a lot.
I mean, but he wasn't here last month.
No, he's I don't know what exactly his exact story is. I know he works a lot. I know he has an 8-year-old son and his girlfriend. That's not the mother of his son.
Right.
So he's got, I think he has to care for his son a lot of times.
Right.
So I'm gonna reach out to him though, and I'll tell him about Sylvester.
And ask him, yeah, if he wouldn't mind, he can hook up with me, because then he can give his son, I don't care. I'll take care of his son. I don't care.
Andrea's coming today, right?
Andrea's not,
She's not coming. Okay, so the kids won't be for you.
well, they were gonna be here anyway, they were coming to my house.
Okay, I was gonna say, it was a little noisy last time, the group next door.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that was a lot to help next to the room for all those others.
Some of those are.
Anyway, so Tuesday sometime, Wednesday, Thursday is great.
I don't know.
And always, always Thursday.
Are there more chairs available? There are, yeah. I unlocked the room next door, so we're gonna grab a nice cushy chair.
Yeah, that's
Makes me feel like I could be a tower. I don't know. I'm trying to give about
That's okay. That's my the other right. Oh, thank you. I paid $5 for these. I don't think what Andrea tells me lost forever.
in your vehicle. I had mine along too, but I just had it so late. I just grabbed. There are no problems.
So anyway, the fresh and green ones are good. They're really good, personal.
And that's about 16 minutes.
Takes me about 16 minutes. I live in Conroe, and my son goes to Milwaukee. So when I drop him off, it's about 16 minutes. So we leave at 5.
So it looks like they've changed the URLs the whole way it looks.
Okay.
For this live stream. Yep.
Actually, David, can you email it to me from your phone? That'd be better because I can send it right now from my computer.
And 90, she lives, yeah, she lives in Milwaukee, so she would be on, Tracy would be on
Well, I'm subscribed to, and I just got a link emailed to me from YouTube. That
did you?
It says September 17th. It says September 17th.
I changed it, but
Go here. Yep. Weird. Okay. I will share this.
So are you sending a mass email with it?
I wasn't going to send it to all the locals, but I can.
No, I got it. That's fine.
I'm sending it to the people I know that live far away. Is there anybody in particular you know, Dan, that would want to know about this?
Well, that just asked me for it.
I sent it to Sam. Beautiful.
Feel my way through the darkness.
And it's a good run. I'm glad it's
Guided by a beating heart. I can't tell where the journey will
now look at how it's going to be. I know. Oh, not very great. Yes, sir. Yeah, there should be a bunch of cars already. Okay, sounds good. Yep. Go ahead. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
So I'm always nervous when I make
Have we ever spoken?
No, not
You have a phone?
I looked into options and she said yes.
You know,
Yeah, I go to church. So, they don't have any, but anyway, so
all right.
they're
No,
really
I was still in her bed.
the
Jason
loss.
was still in bed.
Just FYI, please
Okay,
don't
so
forget.
you said you're not disturbed. Maybe that's the right one.
What did you do to get out and go watch?
No, but
Forearms are silent.
she went to the bathroom, so she was awake.
You bet.
You just- it's like, oh.
And then on the phone, I can't figure out how to phone.
That's pretty good.
I had,
I did not. I was on the road. We will.
yeah.
Yeah, we're doing some color. Some color. Yeah, how's the phone? Oh, I just pretty good. That's pretty good. That was good.
$30 well. No. No, I took a picture of your
But I only had 2 days. hope I get the chance to travel the world. I don't have
But
just like to stay forever this young. Not afraid to close my
I
eyes.
think you should be fine with the
Relax against me for
and your family would start to do these things.
and you'll be surprised. So wake me up when it's all over. So wake me
No, you're good. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Oh, okay. No, I'm right here. I'm right here. So. I just try to get people out of the live stream.
So, yeah. Yeah, so how did you guys? Wow. Really? You will still all? That's great. Wow. I know every person is Anna. Well, that I'm not talking about. So there'll be people who will I'm like, I know everything. So anyways, we met I think we're so I'm seeing it right now. Great, you can farm That's great. Wow. That's pretty funny. Wow, you don't see me.
Unless you care,
looking
I'll
for
go
people
on.
who have
That I get, that I get, that I get.
now that we understand
Oh, you
well, but he understands it, but he always talk to it's like you know, capitalism is the right process.
I just had to let you go. Oh, I promise you care. To give so much more than I get. I just had to let you go.
Later in our team growth, people, and so I felt that we're going to find more people that are that have a niche of expertise that they can offer. And that's all we want. All we want is someone to be a resident. Someone's going to just go like this. Someone's going to be all the little. And then one of them where
Sometimes crazy
we connect with somebody that can train you that is an expert in
we need to stop
you know, we get up that way. Small bodies, like drops on our body. That's kind of what the cat is. 10 to the body. She drops on the cat. Okay. Well, that's all we're like we know just right. Yes, oh, I'm trying to try to close. Never know. No bread. Really it's exciting how it's getting popular. Make sure so anyway, but it's a great class, but I don't want to I'm happy I want to do this auto I know some I know some so his thing was like they're starting to go down that field pretty strong as far as right now. So I went I got and I don't know if any of that on the side. You get a couple of bad apples and then it's like everyone associates them. Yes, Alright, it's gonna be great.
We are children in the kingdom of our own. We will not be judged by uniform sin. Because we bow before we are the Joshua generation. Rise up and flaming the beast in every kingdom. We can go in and Jezebel. We are the Joshua generation. Power of God is in our hands. We are the Joshua generation. Let's rise up and
Okay, everybody, we're going to get started. So if you can find your seats, please. We're going to start in 1 minute. Live stream, 1 minute. Okay, we got some chairs here in the front row that are empty. Come on, don't be shy.
Okay.
Do not be shy, Mary. All right. Well, I am so glad everybody could make it this morning. I know we've got quite a few people that have some events of their own planned this morning, so they weren't able to be here, but that's all right. They're busy doing what we're doing, which is exciting. So
I'm not sure what you said.
I'm trying to
let me tell you what I said.
I'm trying to trim it up.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next thing. Cell phones. If y'all have a cell phone, grab it right now. Take it out of your pocket. Either put it in vibrate mode, silence it, or just turn it off if you wouldn't mind, please. We just don't want to be disrespectful to the person the people that are speaking today. So again, welcome. We appreciate you coming, taking your Saturday morning. This is such an important thing for those that are here as guests. You're going to find out more about what's going on, and we are just so excited. We're so excited to be here. Things that are changing our lives financially, physically. So anyway, I want to introduce our area leader who's taken the charge in this movement, and it really is becoming a movement. I mean, sometimes it's hard to put into words just how it's transforming lives, and that's what we're here about is seeing our own lives transformed and helping others transform their lives. So without further ado, I want to introduce Noah Sigmund.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I think the room. What do you think about the room set up this way?
It's awesome.
Isn't it better?
Yes. Yes.
I agree. We're gonna be using this. We can expand now more than we could before. We took the tables out, and I think we can fit about 50 people in here if we get the chairs lined up as we go. Yeah, like David said, we've got. I think there's at least 4 events going on today, where we have everyone kind of spread out a little bit. So either way, we have a lot of fun. It's funny. The last 3 or 4 nights or so have been nights for me where I've gotten to bed at like 1 or 1:30 in the morning, and then up very early. And in my past life, when that happened, I would be just shocked, or I wouldn't be able to do much of anything the following day. I'd be useless. And this week, that happened. And I was up late, got to bed late, woke up early, and I felt terrific. Every day I felt terrific. And it was so cool. But it proved to me the point that when you have a reason to be going to bed late, and you have a reason to be getting up early, everything's different, right?
Right.
And you got a purpose. You got a purpose for life. You got a purpose for living. So I'm glad we're all here today. It's going to be an amazing few hours, and we're going to go over some very powerful information. We're going to go over what we do. We're going to go over who we are. What is Youngevity? How could this impact your life? And how could you be living a very different life just a few short years from now that maybe you never thought was possible? And how that's happening for a whole lot of people. So I come from Iron Ridge, Wisconsin, and I think some of you guys know where that is. Hey, you got one in the back. Well, one person knows where I'm from, but I grew up on a farm, and there was 8 kids in my family, and it was a great life. And I never really thought I'd do anything else than being a farmer. But then I got married in 2010 to an amazing young lady, Anna, who wasn't able to be here today, but she usually is. And we have 3 beautiful little daughters, a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and then our littlest one, Greta, just turned 13 weeks old on Thursday. So that's the chapter of life that I'm in right now, and it's a good chapter. She's starting to laugh and smile at us, and we can interact a little bit. But those times, spending those moments with those kids, like that's really what's most important to me in my life. And we plan on having more if we're blessed with more. And I want to be a dad. I want to be a husband. I have for a long time. So after we got married and we had our first little baby, we realized pretty quickly that life was not what we thought it was going to be. And what I mean by that is, I don't know about maybe a job that you guys have or someone else that has maybe a 9-to-5 kind of a job. But for me, it was not 9 to 5, 5 days a week. It was 5 to ? When the work gets done, right? So that varies with season, and that's 7 days a week. The cows don't take vacations. The cows don't take their weekends off. They need to be milked twice a day, no matter what. So I just found myself married to Anna and 85 cows, and I got to tell you what, it wasn't a good thing, because my relationship with Anna was starting to weaken. Because would you all agree in this room that whatever you put your energy and your attention towards will grow and prosper?
Yes.
And then the things that you leave lie like a garden, right? You plant a garden, everyone's so excited, it's springtime. You rototill, it's beautiful, black dirt, and you make your rows and you plant your seeds, and it looks so nice, doesn't it? And then those plants shoot up, and it's just beautiful. You got your perfect rows, and then you let it go because you're busy. You don't weed it. You don't water it. You all know what that garden's going to look like 4 months from now. It's not going to be pretty. So we just wanted to make sure that we kept ourselves strong. We wanted to make sure our family was strong. And we didn't want to be in a place that when we looked around, not just in the farming world, but in all industries, we looked around and we saw how people were living. And they really weren't living very much. They were existing. They were getting it done. But that was it. There was nothing else that they were doing. The things that were really important to people, in their minds, they were saying, well, after I retire, then I'll be able to start doing some of that stuff. And we thought, well, when is that? And they said, well, 65, 70, if I'm lucky, right? If I'm lucky, if I still get my job. And I just thought, I don't want to live that way anymore. I would leave my home at 5:30 in the morning to go and work on the farm, and everyone was sleeping. And I would get home after a day in the tractor, and everyone was sleeping. And I say that every time because it was true. That's what was going on. So we made a choice, Ann and I made a choice that we didn't want to do that anymore, and that we were going to find a better way. So we began a search, which took about 2 years of pretty hard searching, a lot of prayer, a lot of searching, a lot of, even what people call soul searching. We wanted to figure out exactly what we wanted to do out of life. So the short story is that Youngevity fell into our laps because of who Dr. Wallach is, and because of certain people that stepped in and offered to mentor us and teach us a better way of living. And when you say, what is Youngevity? You know what? The word opportunity is beautiful because it's something that is there if you embrace it, and it could really have an impact on your life. So first of all, before we even start, I want to thank you for being here. We're going to have an amazing morning. You're not just going to be hearing from me. I'm going to take the next 35 or 40 minutes and just give you an overview on who we are and what we do. I'm going to put some information across your path. And then after that, we're going to take probably about a 5-minute break, and then we're going to jump right into what we call our Super Saturday. We do this event monthly. And you're going to hear from other leaders that are in this room, people who have proven something in their life, and that's why they're going to be talking about it. So that's something that I learned pretty early on in life, that only listen to the people who have the result that you want, and then do what they did. Because so many people will go out and they'll take financial advice from someone who's broke, or they'll take health advice from someone who's sick. I don't get that, right? But how often does it happen, right? Oh, my marriage is on the rocks, so I go get counseled, and the counselor's been divorced 6 times. This doesn't make sense, does it? So we want to make sure that you're getting your information from people who are credible. So I'm going to introduce you to some pretty credible people, and there's some in this room right now that I'm honored to have in my life. So we just have fun. What Youngevity did for us is it gave us some options. So I'm just going to give you some options today, that's all. I'm going to give you some choices that maybe in areas where you didn't know you had choices. And we just love what we've been empowered to do with people. And what you can do when you lock arms together with a team is pretty incredible. So what Youngevity is, when you look at the world out there, here's the question. Where do you fit in? Which one are you? Here's the question I have. There are 3 different types of working class people in America. That's how we've evolved into this country. 3 different types. And here's what we have. We have the millennials, 16 to 34 years old. Those are the things that they want. They want freedom and flexibility because they got a lot going on, don't they? You got a couple in the room, right? You guys like to do what you like to do, right? Like to be flexible. Hey, that's how I am too. I don't like being constrained into a very narrow schedule. I like doing a lot of different things. Who doesn't love gadgets, right? You love being digitally literate. You can do things with that. We envision the world as it's not 9 to 5 anymore. We envision it as all the time. We have stuff going on, and we work all the time. We play all the time. We have a lot of things going on. More than 60% of the graduates won't get a job in the field where they go to college. So that's pretty amazing. That's a crazy statistic. And there's 85 million of those people. That's where I fall in this country. 85 million of them, and they're all searching. 60% is a very high number. Are you in Generation X, 35 to 51? Some of those are in here too. You want to balance a little bit between your work and your life. You're independent, you're resilient, you're adaptable, you're loyal, and there's 51 million of you in this country. Is that where you're at? And then the last one is, are you a baby boomer? We always joke.
I can't believe we got there.
We always heard about the baby boomers, right? All of a sudden, wow, we're there. 52 to 70. At this point in your life, if you're not already secure, you want security because you're heading on in your mind's eye. You're getting closer, to going downhill, right? I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean at a certain point. And you guys were all raised with a very strong work ethic, with values that are disappearing very quickly in society today. You're all independent because you've had to be. Everything wasn't done for you growing up, was it? No way. You guys have a lot of leadership qualities already because of the wisdom in your life. and there's 77 million of you. This pretty much makes up everybody in America that works. So one thing that all these three have in common, other than the fact that they all need security and want some options and choices, is their health is really important to them. Because if you're a millennial, like we're pretty active, right? You guys do a lot of things, okay? Yeah. So we want to keep that as long as possible. We don't want to get old, right? Isn't that what everyone says? We want to stay young. Well, guess what? Generation X, they want to go back to how it was. They're thinking, boy, I'm 40. I wish I was 29 again. Isn't that what they're all saying? It's kind of a joke, but it's really true. They want to get younger. And then the baby boomers, okay, so since you're laughing, is it true? You want to slow that clock down, don't you?
Yes.
Yes, you want to have a longer life, but not just a longer life, but a better life. You want a life where you can actually have some choices up until the very end and have equality. It's all equality, you guys. My great-grandfather died at 101, and he said if he could do it over again, he would have died at 85 and not lived the last 16 years on medications and in a wheelchair. And he would rather had all of his functions properly working. His mind was sharp as a tack till the day he died, but his body was not. And it was not fun. So to hear him say that, I thought, okay, I'd rather live to 101. Anyone in this room rather live to 101, feeling good and working all the way up until the very end, where you can experience your great-great-grandchildren? That's what I'm talking about, okay? That's what I want to be. Heck, I'm just trying to be there for my kids. So that's what they all have in common. We want security. We want health. We want a good life. Here's the plan that most people live in America. This is America. Out of 100 people who get to 65 years old, whether this pie chart applies to you or not, doesn't matter, because this is the reality in the world. 1 out of 100 people have choices. That's what wealthy means to me. You've got a choice to go right or left in everything you come to. Every crossroad you get to, instead of saying, here's what I'm going to have to do, it's here's what which one do I want? Which one would be better for my family, right? Which one would be better for me? Which one would be the most benefit? Most people don't think that way. Most people think, well, here's where I'm at, so here's what I have to do. Instead of saying, here's what I want to do, so I got to find a way to get there. And that's what we do here. 1 out of 100 are wealthy at 65. 4 out of 100 are just financially stable. And that just means paycheck to paycheck, really, with no debt. There's a bunch of those people. That's where I was at 3 years ago. And I'm just going to tell you, it didn't feel very good to know I had no control or options, where I was living every month on a credit card. And then I worked for my dad, so I got paid once a month with a check. And I would just, so because it was my dad, and he was great, but because it was my dad, it would be like, Dad, I was counting on the check like last week. Can I? Oh, sure. I'll get the check, and I just run down to the bank, deposit that baby, and pay the credit card off as soon as possible, so we wouldn't accrue interest. That was my life. That was my life for 2 years. And we had a baby, and then we had another baby, and then I started really getting serious about things. So this made sense to me. 5 out of 100 are still working when they're 65. And it's not because they want to. So I know, Rex, you love what you do, don't you? Yeah. So you'll do it until you can't do it anymore.
Absolutely.
Just because, and you're good at it.
Yeah.
You've got skills, you've got talents. Not everyone's in that boat. A lot of people are working because they have to. So I'm just going to tell you right now, you don't want to be 65 and have to find a job somewhere because you have to. It's not a good thing. Because the older you get, you guys know how the world turns. 28 out of 100 people don't even survive to 65 years old. And we all know somebody in that category, or someone who was in that category. Every one of us in this room knows somebody. And it's way too common to have 28%, especially in America where we have all these options, right? We've got the best healthcare system in the world, I keep hearing. 62 out of 100 are just dead broke. Nothing. No options. Not even enough to live on. And what's their outlook? Pretty bleak. Yeah. I'm not trying to be a downer on anybody today. I'm just saying here's reality. So it's time to wake up and look at reality and not think that we're going to be in this little bubble and everything's going to be just fine. It may be. I can't tell the future. All I'm telling you is that this is what's out there. And every one of us falls into a category. So when I looked at that, hey, 62 plus 28 plus 5 and 4 is 99. And that's 99 out of 100 people, pretty much, dead or dead broke. And that's not a good outlook and a good place to be. So I just decided I didn't want to ever have to have stress in my life in those areas. So when we discovered Youngevity, it closed the loops on all those areas. So I'm going to ask you right now to have an open mind. For your sake, not mine. You must have an open mind in going through life. If you're not open to other options, unless you're happy where you're at, that's the only caveat I'll add to that. If you're happy where you're at, if you want to be closed-minded, go for it, right? But you need to be open-minded because you never know who was placed in your path for what reason, and we view them as divine appointments. When you meet somebody, if you have a solution for somebody and they express a need to you, is it a choice or a responsibility to expose them to the solution?
Responsibility.
We're on the same page. Good. So that's pretty bleak. And this is America. That's horrible. So what are the options that you have? And by the way, it's pretty funny that most of the stress that happens in people's lives, how many of you would agree that the majority of it is financially related?
Yes.
Being honest. Absolutely. If you don't think money is important in your life, and if you don't think income is important, then why do you spend 80% of your life and your waking hours working for money? Just asking the question, right? We trade our life in for people to give us money in return. That's why we have a job. I get a kick out of it. I'll talk to people who are in corporate America, and they're like, I'm really excited, I'm getting a promotion. And I'm like, why do you want a promotion? They said, so I can get paid more. There's nothing wrong with that, but you're just you're selling your time and you're selling your life to the highest bidder. So now instead of someone else dictating what you're worth, how about you start dictating what you think you're worth? Do you think that you have experiences in life that are valuable to someone else? Oh yeah. Every one of you in this room has a story. Every one of you in this room has a past, has a strength that I don't have. We're all very special people, and if we just find a way to use that, your value, your worth is way more than you even think it is. And it's time to start setting your own worth. Okay, this is what we do here in Youngevity. We give you that choice. If you want to work more hours, you can go for it. I wasn't a big fan of that. I was already working 80 or 90 at least, right? I wasn't with my kids enough the way it was, and I'm like, that's not going to be an answer. Because then what if I get more income? I'm gone more. So what point is that? I know plenty of people who made it to the top of their corporate ladder, the top of their success, right? They found the pot at the end of the rainbow after a 50-year career, after trading the best years away, and they had millions in their bank account and they had nothing. You can have all the money in the world, and if you don't have a family, if you don't have your health, you can throw that all away. And you probably will, trying to get healthy. Okay? So let's just avoid it. There's a better way, everybody. Second job is the same thing. You could start a franchise. Haha. How many of us are going to start a franchise or want to? You know, a Starbucks franchise is over $250,000 just to get the name. You still got to get your building. You still got to have your employees. Everything that goes into that still has to happen. Okay. Most of us probably will never do that. And then, you know, I point, you know, David's in the back of the room, who I appreciate very much. He's a very good friend of mine. He owns a very successful IT business that I'm not going to get into the details. I'll just tell you that it's a very good one. And, you know, what is the average business owner? Because you've got employees, you've got overhead. What does the average business owner actually dump into something in an effort to not be, you know, in these chunks? Tell me right now. Because is that why you started your business?
That's the reason I thought I started. Yeah, I mean, just to start it, I mean, you're talking 50, you know, I think we dumped in somewhere around 40 grand, 50 grand, somewhere
Yep,
there.
just to get going.
And I peaked out at 100 plus hours a week working to try to get it going.
And you got it going.
Yeah, and I got sick.
Okay. You got it going, and he lost his health because of it. So you'll hear his story. What's amazing about David is that he was open-minded. And he heard an option, and he said, I need an option, and he jumped aboard, and he's well on his way. But there's someone who has started his own business, and it's successful, and he's looking for a plan B. So if all Youngevity is for you is a plan B, perfect. It doesn't have to be your number one thing. It is for me because of what it's done for me, right? But investments, you know what? Investments are not accurately reported to people. You think you're going to be rich off your investments? Do you know how much investment assets you have to have stashed away just to live off interest? Do you guys really know what those numbers are? I'm not going to go through all the numbers. I'll just tell you, if you need $1,000 a month, which is not enough to live off of, but if you want $1,000 a month from interest, you're going to need about $250,000 somewhere tucked away, earning for you. Not many people that I know will ever have $250,000 tucked away. Okay? So that's what we're faced with today. Go back to school. How many of you guys go back to school? I meet people, yeah, no shame, by the way. No shame in furthering your education. But I know people that are in their 30s and 40s with no options. They're like, well, I'm just going to have to go back to another 4 years of school. Another $100,000 in debt. But hopefully I can get a better job with that 4-year degree. And it doesn't happen. So this is what we're up against. So guess what? You're going to meet some amazing people who saw this challenge and they said, let's just hit it head on from all fronts. And you're probably not going to play the lottery, right? I mean, maybe you do. I don't know. But if you don't build your life, we say dream. You know what? Everything you've ever wanted in your life, you've thought of before it happened. Whether you agree with that or not, it's just the way it is. Whether, hey, when you met the right one, you saw yourself married instantly, and you started moving toward that dream. Oh,
No,
no.
stop it.
But you know what? In your life, you guys, you have to take charge. You have to take charge and start building something for your future, or you'll build someone else's future. As long as you're an employee somewhere, you will build someone else's future, which is okay if that's what you want to do. But I'd rather work really hard, like I'm going to anyway, and put something together that's going to support me and my family forever. That's what I'm talking about. So how about we exchange a 40-year plan for a 12 to 24-month plan? Because that's what we have here. No matter what your generation was, no matter what category you fell into in that first slide when we talked about it, it doesn't matter. The answer is here. What we have within the network marketing industry is something where age is irrelevant, right? So you're here because of Fred, technically. Fred is what, 60, 68, 69 years old, something like that. I don't know how old he is, right? But he's very successful here, and he's only been here for 3 years. Right? I'm 29. This worked for me. It doesn't matter. And here's the deal. If you think it does matter, that's what's going to stop you. Is that really worth stopping you from making some changes? It's up to you. You're going to hire yourself here. You're going to own your own time. You're going to lifestyle freedom. Sometimes we use that word and it's very vague. Lifestyle freedom, what does that mean? That means you style your life the way it's important to you. And you don't have freedom unless you have a choice to make a choice, right? And that's what ends up, people don't have that anymore. They think they are because we have a car. We have a car and we have a house and we each have a job, so we're happy. Are you really? Is that what happiness is? Really? Outward appearances? Is that what makes you happy? No. Nope. It's living a fulfilling life with people that you love and having the choices to help people and having choices to do things that make a difference. That's the happiest people in the world. You're going to find that out. You're going to have freedom now. You're going to earn while you're learning. So this is not a 4-year training program and then you launch. This is you get paid while you're still a new person. And that's why this works for everybody. You'll understand it. Our business plan has a 70-year track record of success. I think that's long enough to say it's probably working. And it's going to enhance your quality of life from all aspects. And then more importantly, you're going to get mentorship from people who've already been there, and done that. Training and support. All right? So for anyone who's in this room who's already involved, do you get training and support and mentoring?
Yes.
Absolutely. So you're going to be in business for yourself, but not by yourself because you got a team. So welcome to Youngevity. Here's what we are, everybody. We are a multifaceted, publicly traded, international company that's 20 years old. And we have products and services that every single person in this room is already using in their life. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you a system and a plan that's going to allow you to not access those products and services from where you're getting them now, access them from Youngevity, get a better quality product and a better quality service, and then you can build some wealth at the same time. Does that sound good? Does it sound too good? Well, careful what you say, because whatever you say is true, right? So we have a full line of what you're going to hear about, top quality nutrition. Supplements that will, in my opinion, radically impact your life. Based off of what I've seen, there's people in this room who've had some pretty incredible things happen that you will hear about. Yeah, right. For weight loss, for nutrition, you guys can see it. Herbal remedies and essential oils is unbelievable. You can flip the coin to go for a full line of high class, high quality mineral makeup that's so healthy that you can eat it. And you'll be better off. You know, we just opened up a new line of products where anyone in this room ever been brushing your teeth and you're bored because it's like, I have to do this for 2 minutes. Let me look at the toothpaste container, right? And you're reading the label and it says, keep out of reach of children, pets, and if swallowed, contact poison control. Whoa! And you're brushing your teeth with that. Is it just me, or does that not make any sense? But we do it every day, don't we? Yep, because our dentist told us we should. Okay, so I'm not going to get into dentists. I'm just telling you that, hey, that doesn't make sense. So how about you come to Youngevity and get our line of toothpaste that you can swallow and eat and everything's cool. And it works. See, that's what I'm talking about. So we're going to switch out that kind of stuff. And that's what causes you to be sick in the first place. It's putting poisons in your body. So stop it. It's pretty simple. Essential oils, skincare, fashion and jewelry. We got some in the back. You can check it out. Coffee. No one drinks coffee here, right? I saw some in the back. Yeah, there's already some floating around. Energy drinks. And by the way, millennials aren't the only people that drink energy drinks. So stop saying that, right? Gourmet food storage, healthy chocolate. Who doesn't want healthy chocolate, you guys? It's great. And a lot of us has had it. It's fantastic. I eat it every day. I feel good about it. Scrapbooking and photo books, pet supplies. Too much to even go over today. And that's really my message. My message is that, do you ever walk into Walmart and say, I need an overview of all your products here? Can you please give me a list of everything you have and all the ingredients, please? They're going to look at you like, go look for yourself. It's all here, right? Isn't that the greeter's job?
Yeah.
Welcome to Walmart. How can we help you? I'm looking for electronics today. Okay, aisle 2. Go peruse to your heart's content. That's what we do here at Youngevity. If you're new to this, just know there's something here you're going to use and you're going to love. And that's going to have an impact on your life. And you find out what it is and we'll help you get it. So that's what we have. The core, though, of what we have is that little blue circle. And it's called 90 for life. And here's why that's really special. This guy right here is what sets us apart from every company, every organization in the whole world. There's not, and although everyone here is unique, he's like really unique. He's 76 years old, and his name is Dr. Joel Wallach. And if anyone in here remembers the TV show Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom, anyone remember that? Yeah? Yeah. Did you watch it?
Live.
You watch it wasn't even a rerun. We got an honest man in the middle. I love it. And yeah, and you know what? He was on that show. You watched Dr. Wallach and you didn't even know it. He was in the background working with the animals, and the reason he was on that show was because of what he had discovered and what he was working on. Marlon Perkins called him and said, you need to be on my show because I keep hearing about you and what you're doing with animals. What was he doing with animals? He was figuring out how to fix them. He grew up on a farm like I did, and I think that's why I appreciate him is because he's a real straight shooter. So you guys, some of you have heard him speak, right? Yeah, right. He just says it the way it is, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And I love him for it. No beating around the bush. He just gets right to the core of the problem. So Dr. Wallach asked his father a question when he was 9 years old. And here's the question: why is it that our animals are always healthy, but we are always sick? People are always sick. Look around you. Pets don't get sick very often, but their owners do, right? Farmers' livestock don't get sick very often. I grew up on one. I can vouch for it. But we got sick, and we were eating well. What's going on? Our food comes from the same field. Dr. Wallach said, okay, we got to figure this one out, right? And he launched himself and poured himself into figuring out what that was. And what Dr. Wallach found out was that there are 90 different nutrients that exist that are supposed to come from your food. And when you get those, you're healthy. Is that simple? I think it's pretty simple. But what happens if you don't get some of those? Over time, you start breaking down and you get sick. You ever heard the word disease? You know, it's dis-ease. That's all it is. It's not being at ease. There's something going on. And that's all it is. You've got holes that need to be filled up that your food is leaving empty because the soils don't have those nutrients in them anymore. So Dr. Wallach, if you want to know, is this guy even credible? Who is he, right? I've never heard of him before. Maybe you have. Well, you saw him on TV, right? But if you get published one time in your life, that's a big deal, right? That means you got something to offer. But how about 75? Go look him up. He's all over the place, right? That Doctors Don't Lie, his book and audio, 350 million of those things circulating through the world as of right now, and it's continuing to go up. That's an unreal number. If you want to know if he's credible, he's published 7 or 8 books. He's married to a Chinese neurosurgeon. He travels 300 days a year, spreading his message and his mission so that we can enjoy our health, and he doesn't charge for it. And he doesn't own this company, which is really incredible. So he's not in it for personal gain. That's who Dr. Wallach is. He was a veterinarian first. That's why he's special. He didn't have an agenda on learning medicine, except that he wanted to crack the code. And he found out pretty quickly that if he just gave the animals, like on a TV show he was working on, and he would work in the zoos, if he just gave his animals the 90 nutrients that were missing from their diets, they got better. Isn't that simple? Yep, no matter what kind of an animal it was, and no matter what it had, he'd give it pretty much the same thing. Because he found out that every man, woman, child, and animal on the planet needs the same nutrition to live healthy. And that's really all it boils down to. He opened up a clinic. He became a naturopathic doctor after years and years of work with animals. The book that he put together, documenting all of the 30,000 autopsies on animals, all species, and 8,000 autopsies on human beings, that book is so valuable that it's it's supposed to be, in the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, D.C. But Mary, who you'll hear her story in a little bit, I'll let her tell it to you. Just know that she went there only to find out if it was really true, if it really was there, because she's a skeptic, right? So she went down there, and it's there. It's down in Washington, D.C., and it's not even on display because the zoo is using it right now. So do you think it's credible? Do you think it's relevant? Do you think it's valuable? Yeah, because when you run a zoo, you have a lot of animals that are endangered that you cannot afford to lose. So how about we start figuring out what did they do with animals, and if we treat our endangered animals so well, how about we treat ourselves the same? Because in America, we treat our animals way better than we treat ourselves. And if you don't believe me, go to Petco. All right, I'm not kidding you. And if you have pets, you know what I'm talking about, or if you know someone who has pets, we will scour the label of our dog food or our cat food, right? Why, you got a pet?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, so so you do this? You pay attention to what you feed your pets?
Yeah.
Okay, so guess what? You need to start paying attention to what you feed yourself. And we don't do that. We assume because it's coming from the store and it looks like a carrot that it's going to give us what we need. But what if that carrot was raised in soil where there was no calcium? Is there any possible way for you to get calcium? What's the answer? What we had to do with the farm animals. Every day when we feed them, guess what else we fed them? Vitamins and minerals on top of everything else they ate to fill all the holes that their food were leaving empty. That's pretty simple. So Dr. Wallach, here's his message. It's not what you're eating that's killing you. Everyone's like, oh, America's so sick, so bad. We're eating all this bad stuff. Well, that may be true. But it's what we're not eating, which is really what's killing us. And you're not getting 90 nutrients if you're just eating food. If you think you're getting everything you need from your 4 food groups, you may be misinformed. You may want to look into this, is all I'm going to say. Because every single one of us, if we're not getting the proper nutrition, are ticking time bomb, and something is going to happen. And if the past history is any indication, it's going to happen a lot sooner than you really think it's going to happen. And you never know when your time is going to be up. But how about we just don't worry about that? How about we have peace of mind and we feel good? That's what Dr. Wallach's message was. He wanted to eliminate suffering and disease from not just this country, but the world. And that's why he travels the world doing what he does. Just give your body the 9 essential nutrients, okay? Does that make sense to everybody here?
Yes.
Okay, great. So here's our culture. Here's what Youngevity is. Anyone watch Dancing with the Stars in the last couple of weeks? Anybody? If you're afraid to admit it, it's okay. David, if you have, you'd see this lady, because she's on it right now. Mary Lou Henner was on Taxi years ago. She was a very famous actress. She is such a sweetheart. If you had a chance to meet her, you would know. You know her?
I don't.
You don't, but you know who she is, right?
Of course.
Yeah, of course, right? Yeah. So she is a non-paid ambassador for Youngevity. So here's a question: if you have someone who has a very prominent name or position in society or in our culture, right? How often do you see someone attaching their name to a person or a product if there's no money involved, and then publicly promoting it?
Rare. Very rare.
And by the way, you need to meet this guy after you're done here. Chat with him a little bit. He knows a lot of people you wish you could meet. That's all I'm going to say. All right? That's all I'm going to say. But he knows firsthand what I'm talking about, right? You're very cautious with what you link your name with, because if it's sideways, you're done. Your career is over. You have to be very careful. Unless you're getting paid big bucks. That's different. We always joke and say, do you think Tiger Woods really loved Nike hats that much? Do you really think he did? I don't think he did. Whatever. Okay. So Mary Lou Henner has attached herself to this company because of what it's done for her and how much she believes in Dr. Wallach. And she credits Dr. Wallach to the reason she's even still an actress and the reason she's on Dancing with the Stars right now. Because her, was it her ankle? I think, because we were there at convention. I think it was her ankle that had went out, and she's 64 years old. Would you want to look like that at 64?
The male version.
The male version. Touche. There you go. But you know what? This is her quote. The 3 things I look for in a company is great history, quality products, and passionate people. And that sums up what Youngevity really is. And a company doesn't just mean something you can't see. It's people. Company is a company of people. We're a company today, right? You're in good company with us. We have a lot of amazing people that you can meet and rub shoulders with, and just, they're real. These people are real. Mary Lou Henner is just a real person, right? She's not just like, oh, no, she's awesome. She mingles with the crowd. She talks to people. So that's her. We have corporate headquarters in all these locations, all over the U.S., also in Singapore and Australia, Mexico, New Zealand, Russia and Moscow. We just opened up there. Our global headquarters in San Diego. That's where we're based out of. But you can get these products in like 40 countries right now. You can actually get them in 40 countries. So we're growing very rapidly. 1997 is when we started. So that's almost 20 years old. And we're publicly traded. That's our stock symbol down there, YGYI. If you're into that, check it out. Go buy some stock, right? Not giving you financial advice. I'm just saying you may want to buy some stock. That's how we have grown over the years. Those are some other people that have endorsed Youngevity and that actively use it. Theo Ratliff played in the NBA for 14 years. And the last 8 were only because of Youngevity and Dr. Wallach. Because he was forced to retire after 6 years, his knees were completely gone, and he couldn't play basketball, obviously, anymore. How many of you saw Theo when we were just in Salt Lake City? Yeah, like he would have to duck in this room. He's one of those guys, you know? Like his suits are custom. I'll just tell you that. His suits are custom. But he, after being exposed to Dr. Wallach and following his advice, he got back into the NBA for another 8 years, successfully. 20 million. That's what he says. I credit Dr. Wallach for another extra 20 million in my bank account. He's thankful, right? It's pretty amazing. Drew Pearson caught the first Hail Mary in history in the NFL with the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl, right? He was the one in the end zone. When Roger Staubach went back and launched that football, he's the one who caught it. He is part of our company. Mike Glenn, you guys, some of you know who he is. I'm not going to give you all the stories. Steve Hess is a trainer for the Denver Nuggets. That's it. It's for the Denver Nuggets. He's a trainer. They use Youngevity products. So Willie Nelson had to stop touring last year because of his hands. He couldn't play guitar anymore. And now He's touring again. We like to joke and say he's on the road again. And he's back because he feels good. And it's because someone, there's a mystery, nobody knows how, but someone connected it to Dr. Wallach. Pretty cool to hear this kind of stuff. You know, Nelson Mandela, for the last 15 years of his life, was taking Youngevity products. That's why he lasted until he was 92 in prison. You know what kind of food they feed you in prison, right? Not nice. But these are just some people, because they're people too. Everyone wants to live a good life. So that's who we are as a company. Those are some of the people that really have planted their flag with us. So I'm proud to be one of those people too. And my flag is not in wet cement. It is hardened. Here's our challenge. In the United States, you guys, we spend more money on healthcare. So Steve works in healthcare. You don't see that money flowing, do you? It's unbelievable what the amount of money that flows through the healthcare system, and then look at the results. And that's all I'm going to say. Is look at the results. If it worked, then it would be worth it, wouldn't it? Right? Mary, you spent a boatload. Steve and Mary, you guys, to recover Mary's health, which you'll hear her story in a little bit. And did it work?
No.
Did not work. Guys, we're talking people spend tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes even more than that, and nothing happens. So there's a problem. 2 out of 3 of Americans are either overweight or obese. That's unbelievable. And nearly every major disease is on the rise. And we all know this is true. I didn't tell you anything you didn't know already. You guys know that. And millennials, hey guys, how's this feel? We're the first generation in history with a shorter life expectancy than our parents. Isn't that nice?
I didn't know that.
And
That's scary.
this isn't us saying this.
No.
This is common knowledge.
Right. This is now a fact. By the way, this PowerPoint is brand new. This is current from the government's websites. That's crazy. So you tell me one person who wouldn't want to live healthier, longer, and then at the same time have some options, without having to really go to school or college or do all that stuff. So yeah.
Yesterday on the news, they were talking about how our life expectancy is so much longer than our parents or 100 years ago, and that those people only live to an average of 45 years. But they're not comparing apples to apples. Today, when we're talking about the average lifespan, we're talking about people who reach adulthood. And 100 years ago, they were talking about all people from birth to death. So they were including all the birth deaths in that age span. So it's skewed numbers, and they're hoodwinking the United States by saying these numbers.
Part of it is that we have developed water sanitation systems. We've also had regulations on our food. So in one sense, we have expanded our life expectancy, but it's totally different. Pure water, I mean, that would affect all of us if we couldn't have it, or, just certain things that have been structured that are for the betterment of us, sewer systems and all that stuff. But the problem is getting worse because drug companies are majoring on the major diseases. The new drugs that come out are cancer, diabetes, blood pressure.
And by the way, he's credible to be talking about this. Okay, he's a licensed healthcare professional. That's all I'm going to say. Talk to him later if you want some more details. He knows, is why I'm saying it. He knows what's going on. And he's exactly right. So we've got a problem. That's our problem, you guys. So here's the solution. There's the 90 for life. Dr. Wallach figured this out. He gave this to animals for years and years. And by the way, he took it himself. He treated himself like an animal. Go figure. And it worked, right? That's what you really need out of 40 years. This is not a new message. In fact, Dr. Wallach didn't discover it. It was already there. He's the first person to really promote it. Other people knew that this was good for that and deficiencies were a challenge. But he just found out that all 900 diseases in the animal kingdom were just a mineral deficiency. They all fell under that very simple umbrella. And then what's the solution? It's just nutrition. Give your body some raw materials so it can do its work. Not a chemical. That word confirmed is pretty important right there. So I'm not making claims to you guys today except confirm that each nutrient deficiency is linked to multiple health issues. Why does this run in my family? Now you know why. They're deficient in that, right? Or they grew up on a farm where
There just so happened to be low selenium content in the soil, and they ate from their garden for 100 years, never understanding that they were depleting themselves. How would you know? We didn't do soil samples, right? In 1800s, 1900s, no way. So this, I love that. This is organized in the most powerful way that's ever been done. These three products right here are what constitutes the 90 nutrients. It's very simple. The Beyond Tangy Tangerine, we have some here in the back. If you want to try it. That's a lot of your minerals packed in. I think there's amino acids in there. There's vitamins. There's so many things in there. Your Beyond OsteoFX, that's your calcium. That's your bones, your joints, your ligaments, your tendons, your moving parts. That's pretty important to keep those things in tip-top shape so you don't end up in a wheelchair at 80 years old, if you even make it that far, right? And then your EFA+, your essential fatty acids. That really ties it up into a very neat little package. And it's so simple. And that's why I really appreciate Dr. Wallach, because I never wanted to be a doctor. I was never going to go to school and do that. There are some people in this room who could be, but I'm not one of them. And I would rather just stand on Dr. Wallach's credibility and his 76 years of life with what he discovered and the proof that he came up with. You know, who sues the FDA 9 times and wins? Dr. Wallach did. Enough said, right? So that's the core. That's the core of our whole company, by the way. 90 for Life, the Healthy Start Pack, we call it. Those 3 items. So you know what? Every person, we believe, should be on those 3 items to fill up all the holes that your food is leaving empty. And here's the point. All supplements are not created equal. Most mineral supplements, because some people say, hey, I already take supplements, right? I'm good. And by the way, I don't take them anymore because they never worked. Joke. You're nodding, right? I talk to so many people. I say, how many people take supplements? Like every hand goes up. And then how many people would notice that they stopped taking them? No hand goes up. They take them because their mom told them to, right? That's what I did growing up. I felt great. But you know what? If you get your supplement from a rock, and they grind a rock up, you're going to maybe absorb 8 or 12% of that. And that's called a waste of your money. And that's called it's not going to work. You know, there are people in this room who had some incredible journeys when it comes to health, and they tried all that stuff. And they spent a lot of money absorbing 8%, and it didn't work. So Youngevity uses plant-based nutrients and minerals. And actually, you guys were there. Mary, you were there. I think. Steve, did you go on the mine tour? Nope. So in Salt Lake City a couple weeks ago, they actually took a tour up to the mine, and I think that's the current picture. So they went and showed you where all the stuff comes from. Plant-derived minerals. Was it pretty cool to see?
Yeah.
It was pretty cool, wasn't it?
Oh, you bet.
Yeah, you bet. And Youngevity is the only company in the world that has access to these nutrients here. Plant-based. See, that's the key. Plant-based. Just know that, because then your body knows what to do with it, because it's like food. So simple. So you need to absorb. And if you can absorb 98% of what you're taking in, I would say you're probably in a better shape, right? These are the healthy body packs that Dr. Wallach and the company came up with so that it would be very simple for you to know a step to take to get healthy, okay? And you'll see that each one of these packs has those 3 products in it. That's because that's the 90 nutrients. And that's the foundation and the core of everything. And then on top of that, so hey, we can't diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease here. I'll be very clear about that. But that being said, this one is called the Bone and Joint Pack. I don't know what you take that, right? Why you want to take that one?
Free bone and joint.
Oh, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. You guys are smart people, okay? Just know that the Bone and Joint Pack has the 90 nutrients plus 1 or 2 other things that are going to target bones and joints. And I'll just leave it lie there.
That's cool.
Blood Sugar Pack, 90 for life, with something called Sweeties that helps target your blood sugar, right? And that's what all the brain and heart. Think of diseases associated with brain and heart, right? Isn't that simple? Does that make sense?
It's really impressive.
Yeah.
Actually, that you're not taking, because you're getting so much in your basic pack that you don't have to take 50 other things.
See, and how many people went out to GNC or their chiropractor or their doctor and they said, I need supplements, and they said, well, you're going to need this, that, and this. And you end up with this armload of stuff all piggybacking on each other, but you still need that and this. And
$1,000 later, every month, by the way, $1,000 later, you're still feeling as bad as you were before. It happens to a lot of people. You'd be surprised. So we just want to say it's so simple. You don't need to take a bunch of pills. Take 90 for life. Just take it. See what your body says about it. That's what we say. Athletic pack, for people that are active, when you sweat, your sweat tastes salty, doesn't it? Oh yeah, it does. You're sweating out 90 nutrients. Salt is a nutrient. It's a mineral. You're sweating out 90 nutrients when you sweat. And what are you putting back to your car's gas tank? Water? There's nothing in water. You got nothing there. Gatorade? You got maybe 3 things. And then 8 things as well that are going to rob your body of things. Not good. I look at how many people from my generation live off of Monster energy drinks. It's unbelievable. How they're still alive, don't ask me how. But I'm just going to tell you right now, you'd rather just drink Rebound. You drinking that right now? Oh, you got pollen bursts. All right. Close enough, right? But the point is just put premium gasoline into your tank. Replace these items out of your life that are hurting you and shortening your lifespan, and be happy, be healthy. So now you know why it's important for everyone to make different choices and to start going down a different route. And here's how to do that. So if you are not involved with Youngevity yet, here's how you can get involved. You have 3 options in front of you today. And this is why I love our company, because they're going to meet you where you're at. We're going to give you an option that fits your life. Option number 1 is you can become a lifetime member of Youngevity for $25. It's lifetime. It's not renewable. And at that level, you can purchase and access any product that the company has to offer for life at 30% off retail. It's a pretty good deal. That's a really good deal. Because how many people pay $100 or more a year to be a member at Costco? And they're happy to pay it. And all that lets you do is walk in the door. You don't get products for that, right? That's just, you are now privileged where you can come inside. And that's $100 a year sometimes for people. There's value there. That's why people do it. That's valuable. You don't even know about all the products we have yet. Just know you like them. And now you can get them for yourself. Option number 2 is the $25 lifetime membership plus a Healthy Body Start Pack, which is the 90 nutrients for one person for a month. Okay? And that's $125. Okay? And those first 2 options are what I would equate to being someone who is a customer. Someone, if you just want these products so badly, and that's the only thing you want to fill up in your life, go for it. But what I would suggest, what I did, is something that a lot of people in this room have done. In fact, between 10 and 12,000 people a month right now are flooding into Youngevity, and they're getting a CEO, we call it a CEO pack. It's a family pack. And this is kind of what it looks like. And exactly what it looks like. And you got a couple of options. But you get 2 complete sets of the 90 nutrients. So if you're a couple, 1 for each of you. You get a lot of extra things on the side. You get like this one, for example. Cody's drinking Pollen Burst right now. A natural energy drink without the crash. It's fantastic. 30 bags of that. 30 bags of the OsteoFX for on the go. 30 bags of the Tangy Tangerine for on the go. 30 bags of the Rebound for when you're working out, when you're jogging, to replenish your gas tank. 30 bags of root beer belly, we call it. It's a probiotic. It tastes like root beer. Fantastic, right? 30 bags of watermelon sprinkles. Kids love it. So do adults. The point is, you get like over $500 of products in this pack, and you pay $500 for it. That's option number 3. So the reason that's different, though, is because we know everybody needs to be healthy. We know everyone needs options in life, but a lot of people don't know how to make that happen. So we're going to show you right now why option number 3 can transform your entire situation. So you're getting products for your money. They waive the $25 membership if you get a CEO pack. So, and you still get all the same material. You still get 30% off retail, all the products. And then you get to participate and you have the option and the choice to build wealth while you're using the products anyway. And that's why I'm so appreciative of this model. You then access all the bonuses that the company pays. It says 10 forms of compensation. That's a professional way of saying you qualify for the bonuses, okay? And then you get the leadership training, which is pretty important, right? I heard you talking about personal development before. It's pretty important in life, isn't it? For anything that you do, whether it's your marriage or your family or your job or your friendships, your relationships, in life in general, people are looking for someone to lead them to a better place. And you need to rise up. And you're going to be able to access people like Scott Fardulis and Fred Van Leeuwen, and people who have really separated themselves out as someone that we can follow, who have blazed the trail so we don't have to blaze the trail, and we just follow their example because they have a really good example. Like, that's the point here. We're not just putting up plastic people. Because how many people in here have met someone who everyone said was successful and they were just plastic? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it drives us crazy, doesn't it? Those fake people. Don't be fake. Be real. And we can connect you to those people. We have direct access to those people in our company. Once you have your CEO pack, you are equipped to build your business. That's all you need. You're done. It's a one-time thing. And then after that point, and by the way, what's $500 to start a business?
Nothing.
1% of what David used to start his business. Come on, you guys. Let's get real here. And the products that you're getting. So they put this together in a very neat package. Here's how we build the business. Here's how you earn income from Youngevity. Here's how you become a professional network marketer. That's what it comes down to. The good news is you don't have to go to school, because we're going to teach it to you. And I'm not going to give you all the details right now, because that's what today's event is about. We're going to go through some of those processes and steps that we do. Just know that you know 4 people that need what we have. I know you know more than 4 people that need what we have, because everyone needs what we have. And just know that if you learn the best way to communicate with those people, to give them access to seeing this picture, they're going to see value. So we just want to show you how to communicate your excitement and your hope and your value to those people, and then connect them to someone they can talk to who can give them the details. It's very simple. So you're just introducing them. You're exposing them to the plan. You're introducing them to your mentor, whatever it is. And then let them make their decision what's best for them. And we've seen it work time after time after time. Because you might have really great friends who trust you, but maybe you're broke, like 98% of the people in the world. And maybe they don't respect you in the area of finance. Or maybe you've got a health problem that you're working on, right? And maybe they don't respect you when it comes to putting out information that has to do with health. So how are we going to solve that problem? Because we know that it's still going to help them. You go home and you talk to them, and you don't tell them you have all the answers. You tell them you know somebody who does. And you connect them with somebody that has the credibility and who they can respect. And the trust that they have for you, with the respect that they have for this person, is what seals the deal. Because then they feel like they're safe. People want to feel like they're safe. They want to feel like they're part of something. Let's give them something to be a part of, right? You tap 4 people on the shoulder, and you just tell them why you're excited. You introduce them to somebody else who can speak. Jay did it beautifully with you. He connected you, and Jay didn't do a thing. And here you are. Jay did nothing, right? And here you are, CEO, right? Yeah, a phone call. That's all it was for him. The point I'm bringing up is that's why. So this is how it works. If you enroll 4 people into Youngevity, if you expose them, that's about what it's going to be. Right around $567 with the free products that they send you, with the bonuses that they pay. You can kind of count on it being right around $130 a person. And they want you to help get your money back as quickly as possible. Because if you were like me 3 years ago, I didn't have it just hanging around. It was a stretch for me to get my CEO pack. But I found it. I coughed it up, right? I mean, I know people that borrowed a credit card. No joke. They borrowed someone else's credit card, joined, and then got their money back in the first month so they could pay it back. But that's called someone who wants a life change. You have an obstacle. Jean's going to talk about some amazing stuff, and she's got a printout for you that it's going to be really valuable. And your obstacle that's in front of you right now from a better life can either be something that will stop you and trip you, or something that you are going to stand on to get to the next level. And that's a choice. So that's how we get your money back. Very simple. Okay? And then here's why you will get freedom from Youngevity. I'll back up one. You find those 4 people who want what we have. You show them the way to get it. You connect them to their expert. Get their questions answered. Invite them into the family. They say yes. You got your money back. Then you and those 4 people, you show them, hey, we have 4,000 plus products. And I think over 30 different, we call them verticals, of different types of products inside our company that you're all using. So now, switch where you're getting them from. And every month, you find something that you want to use for your own life. That's it. So this is not a traditional direct sales situation, right? This is not buy a couple of thousand in inventory and then go and talk to the people that you know and try to sell it to them. Because that's a job. That's a job. This is called freedom. This is called true network marketing, because they're building a network of people that are using products that are helping them. And then instead of just you getting paid because you're selling them a product, everybody gets paid. Isn't that better?
Yep.
Yeah. So when they switch where they shop, 8% of anything they purchase for the rest of their life shows up in your mailbox in the form of a green check. How many people in this room have received a check from Youngevity of any size? Okay, just checking. If you have 4 people that are switching where they shop, it's about $50 a month. Residual income. This is residual income. You don't have to handle their products. They have their own account. They get it sent right to their house. You don't handle their products. You don't handle their money. It's all done. The company does it all for you because we have the internet today. And they're getting so fine-tuned with how everything's working. We're releasing a brand new website in the next week or 2 or 3. That's going to be just mind-blowing. They don't want you to have to worry about all that stuff. Those 4 people turn around. They want to get their money back, right? Absolutely. They find therefore, that turns into 16. 16 people who are switching where they shop, 8% of everything they purchase shows up in your mailbox for life. This is why this is security, everybody. 16 people turn around and find 4, and that turns into 64. And 64 people switching where they shop, another 7% of every purchase they make shows up in your mailbox. Maybe you're not excited with $672, $1,000 a month. Maybe that's not very exciting to you. But that's sure a lot more doable than having $250,000 in investments in stocks and bonds, hoping that they're going to stay there and living off your interest. And by the way, this grows. See, there's the difference. So 64 people, they want their money back. We help them find their 4 people who want what we have. We teach them the system. 6% of everything those 256 people are buying that they like shows up in your mailbox. And by the way, it goes up every level. Everyone gets paid. They have it figured out to a science. That's $2,300. It's like $3,000 right there. And don't tell me $3,000 in a month wouldn't alter your lifestyle a little bit. Even if it was just savings. It will. Level 5, that's 1,000 people. And by the way, you didn't bring on 1,000 people. You will never bring on 1,000 people. My goodness, right? This is on their 5th level. That's after how this works down. 6%, you guys. 6%. And this is only if everyone's finding 4. So we will not overpromise anything to you today. I will not make a claim to you today. Our goal is to underpromise, to give you conservative numbers, and then to overdeliver. That's really our goal. So in reality, not every person will find 4 by choice. Some people will find 1. Some people will find 20. Everyone's different. This is the average. This is what it would be if everyone found 4. We're working off $150 on a month. So how many people in this room spend at least $150 every month on things that are essential in their life? Yep. And then I got married and started having kids, right? And then, woo, 2 hands go up for that one. And I heard they get cheaper as they get older. Is that true? Yeah, right. It's laughing.
Fewer choice, just more expensive one.
Yeah, right. So you know what, you guys? 1,000 people on that level 5 equals out to $9,216 in a month. And what's really special is it's called residual income.
Are you adding the level?
I'm not even adding them up, but you do add them up.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, on that level 5 is 9,200. Add that all up, 12,000. She's the math was over there. So right under, yeah, okay. Who cares? 12,000, close enough, right? Really? Who do you know that makes 12,000 in a month residual income? Well, I know a bunch of people in Youngevity. That's called freedom. All right? So we don't just preach about money. We preach about your life. And you know what? Your life has a lot to do with the money that you make or don't make. Would we all agree? Mm-hmm. Yes. So let's just find a better way to earn it. Let's just show people a better way of living. Let's show people how to get some products that they really want in their own life, and then help them do the same thing. And reach out to, everyone can reach out and touch a few people. Yes?
We were gone for 5 weeks.
Okay, so Mary Lynn and Will, they're from Oshkosh. Dear friends, amazing senior executive marketing directors in our company. So she's going to tell you a story. Go ahead. It's something to know how special you are. Okay.
We had a pile of checks.
Really? Traveling for 5 weeks across the country because they got an RV and they can do that. And they get home and there's a pile of checks in the mailbox. The business rolls.
Yeah.
The business rolls whether you're working it or not. That's what's crazy about it. It's not a traditional business. It's not only working if you're working. It's going to take some work to get it going. I will not lie to you. It's called network marketing, right? It's going to be some work. Well, you know what? You're already working anyway. So let's transfer the 5 or 10 hours a week that we're all dumping in front of the TV that is sowing negative seeds into our life, and let's use that to build this business. And lock arms with us, and let's build this network. How long did we say the plan was? Anyone see that in that slide? 12 to 24 months. Yeah. Yep. And it's going to take that long. I'm just telling you right now, it's going to take that long. It doesn't have to, but it probably will. What if it took 4 years? What if it took 4 years to earn $10,000 in a month? Residual income for the rest of your life. Wouldn't that be worth it? Yeah, look what we do now. 40 years, 40 hours a week, getting by, hopefully to retire when we're 65, and then to live on 40% of our income all the way out. That's what everyone's doing right now. It's insanity.
They still work against it.
Oh, they're still working at 65. Okay. Well, I'm just being generous. Okay. I'm under promising. So let's not even look at level 6 because you're just gonna get dizzy, right? Let's not even do that. But that 2% going all the way down is really powerful, because if you think there's 4,000 people on your 6th level, imagine what you'd be in level 7, level 8, level 9. You guys see how that can get out of hand pretty quickly, in a good way. So that's all I'm gonna say. Just know that if you're consistent and you treat this with commitment, just like you treat your job. I mean, you treat your job with commitment. You show up every day, 5 days a week when you don't really want to, and you're not getting a whole lot back from that. Treat this with the same amount of commitment. You get paid, there's 10 different bonuses that you can access that are pretty exciting. The car bonus is fantastic. Last month, they'll send you $300 to $1,000 a month once you qualify for that car bonus every month. It's just cash. You don't have to use it for a car. But they sent us $1,000 last month for the car bonus. I'm just telling you that because it's happening. Like, people, this is happening. They want you to succeed here. We want you to have that life that we were talking about. We don't want it to be like, it's pie in the sky. It probably won't happen for me. Don't tell yourself a lie that is not true. That's what a lie is. You get recognition and rewards, and they want you to feel appreciated and recognized for helping people. They want you to share your story, because that's more important than anything else, is where you were at before this all started. You know where I was at? I was 26 years old, and I was a little bit scared about the rest of my life because I wanted a family that was starting to show up, right? and my income was not in the process of going up. It was leveled. It wasn't going to go up, but my family was, and I was gone all the time, and I didn't like that. I was really happy because I married an amazing woman, but I had a little bit of that nag in the back of my head. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like, I know this bill is going to be coming next week, probably. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to be able to pay it. Well, hopefully I can pay it. Like that was my mindset because I didn't have options. And then when this came into my life, I saw the way where I could I haven't ever went to college. I'm not very advanced when it comes to academia, but I saw a way where I could latch onto somebody who had already had success and just become a student, a really good student, follow the plan, and then I knew that a couple of short years could transform my family's life. And I saw a way where I could live together with them for the rest of my life and not apart. And that's exactly what it did. So on my 2-year anniversary of being in Youngevity, which was last December, that's when I walked away from my job. That's when I stopped farming for a living. So Youngevity now supports my whole family. And the good news is I don't put more hours in every month and every month and every month. You don't have to do that. You just find your time and you stay consistent, and then it builds. You be a good example, right? You be a leader. So yeah, you get cool stuff. But all that is an outward sign that you touched a lot of people. That's all it is. I think that speaks for itself. Look at your situation right now. Are you happy where you're at? If you're not happy where you're at, then you must do something different than you have done in the past. We're giving you that option right now. Is this real? Well, you just saw a bunch of hands go up when I asked the question, who's gotten paid from Youngevity? Is it real with the products? I don't know.
Yep.
It is real? Yep. Yeah, Danuta, would you mind sharing your story for like 30 seconds or less and what this did for
I
you?
talk too much, I can do it.
Okay, 30 seconds, let's do it.
Well, I'm a cancer survivor, and the chemo, I went through all the different things, whatever, didn't work because after surgery, my 5 lymph nodes were still alive. I knew I had to do something to stay alive, and I found Youngevity. Besides cancer, I also had colitis, and at first, I was just praying that I could drink this thing that would stay with me because I know this was gonna help me, but it took a while, but I never gave up. I took the Flora, whatever, I did whatever. 1 year now without any medication.
For colitis?
No colitis, feel wonderful. This thing really works, and you have to just stick with it.
And she stuck with it.
I'm so grateful.
Yep.
Yeah. So now that I'm healthy, I'm ready to build my business.
Give her a hand. You don't hear stories like that in the real world. You don't. Joe, what happened to you?
Just basically it was weight loss for me. I was 80 pounds heavier 2 years ago. I lost 40 pounds in the first 4 months of taking the Mighty 90. My father, he just turned 90 last month. He was 2 years ago, he was on 7 medications. Now he's down to just 1 medication, prescription medication, for a 90-year-old, and feeling amazing. Every spring he would get pneumonia. For the last 2 springs, he hasn't even had a cold. So he's doing amazing, and I've been able to introduce Youngevity to a lot of people, and I've got hundreds of stories that I could tell about the people, but it's helped change a lot of lives.
Yeah, and Joe's a senior vice chairman, marketing director in our company. That's why he's wearing his master's jacket, right?
Yeah, I don't call it.
Mary, this last one, go for it.
Quickly, I had a systemic toxic infection in my blood, and throughout all of my organs that had crossed into my brain. And I had the necessary surgery, but I couldn't get rid of the toxins that were in my body because they were still living and thriving. And a farmer, not you, but a different farmer, introduced me to Dr. Wallach, and I started taking the minerals. And just like Danuta, I stuck with it. It wasn't overnight. It wasn't magic. But I started feeling like my body was using what I was taking. And within time, everything's, I mean, now I'm out of bed, I'm with my kids, I'm a grandma. I didn't have that life, I was dying. So, yeah, I mean, I love Dr. Wallach. And like Joe, I could tell you thousands of stories, not just hundreds of the people that have been reached by, Dr. Wallach.
You know, guys, stories are real.
Yeah.
That's what I love about this. And that's why we don't have to tell you what these products are going to do for you. I won't tell you. And I can't. All I can tell you is you need to try it. You know, you need to know, you know where you're at, you know where you'd like to be, and just know that Dr. Wallach has it all figured out so we don't have to. And the stories that you just heard are a very small sampling of what I get to hear every day in my life. I can't tell you how many times I will get a phone call or a text message, or I'll meet someone and they said, "Did you hear?" "No, tell me." "My friend," and then here it goes, and I think, wow, amazing. You know, you know what, Jeannie, just tell them real quick. We gotta, yeah, go for it. Yes, this is important. Because I was just gonna tell your story, but you need to tell it. It's really good. Stand up. Come on, give her a hand, Jeannie. Let's go.
Okay.
Senior Executive Marketing Director at Youngevity. Here we go.
1 year ago, I was on 6 medications. I had high blood pressure, AFib, Barrett's syndrome, and anxiety that I had to take anxiety medications for. I couldn't get in and out of my truck. I'm a truck driver by profession. I couldn't get in and out of my truck because my knees hurt so bad. And today, I'm off all medications. I can jump in my truck, and you know, and I've lost 65 to 70 pounds. I fluctuate, so it's awesome.
And she has a growing business. That's what's so cool. She has a growing business. That's going to be her safety net for the rest of her life. Okay, so she doesn't have to drive a truck anymore. That's what I'm talking about. So that's why we do what we do. That's why. And that's why I give credit to all these people because they fought. They didn't just lay down and give up. Could have. It would have been a lot easier, wouldn't it? No, actually, it wouldn't have been easier. It wouldn't have been easier. Where you're at now is pretty hard, right? Becoming wealthy, becoming healthy is also hard. So, like I always heard, choose your heart. We're offering you a better heart. But is it real? Okay, it's real. If that didn't answer your question, if this is real, and then I don't know what would. Can you do it?
Yes, you can.
You bet you can. There's a few here that I'm thinking of right now that couldn't be here today who have enrolled more than 4 people who are well on their way, and they've never even shown this presentation. Never. Because you don't have to. Let us do it. We've got some amazing presenters in this room that you will be hearing from. You can do it. And actually, here's a question. Can you do it? Careful how you answer. Because whatever you say.
If you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right.
Bam. And that is the rock solid truth. Henry Ford said that in 1905. So it's been true all along. You guys can do this. Will someone help me?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's the guy.
There you go. There's a lot of those guys in here and gals. There's a lot of people. We have so many people who will help you unselfishly make this happen for your life. So we want everything to be out of the way that would stop you from getting that life that we're talking about. And everyone here is in a different place. All I know is that I will forever be thankful. Last night we got home, and I think I got home at about 12:45 because I was in Illinois for something with my family. We go everywhere together, okay? So my 3 little girls are home. Well, you know what happens because they all fall asleep on the way home. So actually, they don't wake up. My kids are amazing, but they're in the car, they're in the van, and you have to transfer them to the house. Remember those days, don't you? Right? Yeah, they lift them up, and they're just laying, they're like dead, like dead weight. Arms are just flapping around. And so we'd wrap them up, and one at a time, I carried them into the house, and I thought, I just thank God, because I was there, and every time I'm there, and every morning I'm there when they wake up, and every lunchtime we're together, and every supper time we're together, and the only time we're not together is when we choose to not be together because we make that choice. That's what your life should be. And that's the life that we design. You have to design it. If you don't design your life, someone else will design it, not according to your standards. We just want you to know that it's possible. It is possible. It happened for me. It's happening for a lot of other people in this room. And there's over 1 million people in Youngevity that are finding a better way. Join the family. We'll help you. We'll get your questions answered. You know what else you can do? You can will this to your kids. You can will this to your church. You can will this to an organization that's valuable to you. So you build this business and you earn $8,000 a month a couple of years from now, guess what? Something happens to you, or you get old and you pass away, that never ends. So you know what? The Sigmund name that has always been farmer, right? Poor farmer is what it was. Is now changed forever. My bloodline has changed because someone reached down and helped me. And my kids will never have to go through the stress of what people have to go through in society. Not giving everything to them, don't worry. Believe me, I know that. I know that's not good. But my point is that the business that we're building will impact generations to come forever. We're talking giving other people options. Pretty awesome. Wouldn't it feel good to write like a $10,000 check out to someone and not care?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that just feel amazing? That would be amazing. But how many of us think that we could actually ever do it? We got one. You are the man, and you will. And you will. How many people in this room would like or can see themselves doing that, right? Hello. Yeah. Thank you, Joe. That's how you gotta design your life, guys. That's the kind of stuff that makes the world go round. Alright? All the organizations that run the world are there because of people that give. The government doesn't take care of those places. That's our job. So that's who we are. We have 5 steps to success. So simple. And it's an acronym. It's called iClip. And this is what we're going to talk about today. I'm not going to actually do it right now because it's been a little over an hour and that's what we said it was going to be. But you know what? In the iClip, just know, here's what it means. What's your imagination? You all just felt really good thinking about writing out $10,000 to someone and giving it to them and not caring if it's tax deductible. That felt really good thinking about that. That's called imagination. So imagine what you want your life to look like 5 years from now. I'm just telling you to do it because I did it. The reason I joined this company and became a network marketer is because I saw myself carrying my kids in from the van, right? I saw that happening and knowing that I'd be there when they woke up the next morning. And we could talk about how much fun it was because they didn't even know I did it, right? And then we laugh about it. My point is that's what I saw in my imagination. The money is what allows you to live the life. So let's be real clear about that. You need to make the money so you can live the life. You can impact others. What do you want? We call that your why. Dan's going to be talking about that. Number 2 is your CEO pack. You get your CEO pack because then you access everything you need and you're equipped. And when you're equipped, you can roll. And then you qualify. Number 3 is your list. Who are those 4 people going to be that we talked about? Who do you care about? Who would you love to work with? See, that's a different way of looking at it. Yes, everybody needs this. But how about you pick your A team right now? Who would you love to work with? Who would you want to do life with? Who would you love to reach out and help? That's who those 4 people are. Number 4 is your invite. We will show you how to do that. We're going to talk about that today later. I'm not going to take time now. We will show you how to invite someone correctly so that they don't say, is this one of those things? Right? Why do people say that? Because we don't invite them correctly. People don't say that to me. People say, okay, I'd like to come and check this out. I'll be there. That's what people say. If you do this correctly, people will come. Excited to hear about an option that they have. And there are some professional inviters here in this room today who've taken it serious, and their business shows it. So that, and the last one is just to plug in. Plug in and promote. The plug-in just means get your training. You know what's really crazy? I was at the Texas Roadhouse, the restaurant, Texas Roadhouse, a couple weeks ago, and I was talking to the manager who was just checking out on our meal. And I said, how long have you been here? And he said, I've been here for 2 months. I said, wow, that's pretty recent. How's it going? Like, you're already the manager? That's crazy. Like, wow. He said, I stepped into the manager position. I said, really? Yeah, because he was a manager of a different restaurant. And they headhunted him, right? They said, we want you in our company. I said, okay. The pay was better. Fantastic. So he shows up. He said, okay, what's required? I'm ready for this job. And they said, well, you got to get trained. Really? Okay. 17 weeks of training to be a manager at Texas Roadhouse. You guys, 17 weeks of intense training. The first week, all he did was cut meat. Whole week. He was in the back. You see him back there. You guys been there? They cut all the steaks and they do all that fresh. That's all he did. In the second week, all he did was bust tables. In the third week, all he did was run the register. In the fourth week, all he did was scrub tables, right? And sweep the floor. And they gave him one thing after the other because he had to understand what it was like for his people. Here's what I'm saying though. Why would he take 17 weeks of his life, non-paid, and give it to this company just to learn how to be a manager? Because it's normal. That's expected. It's like 2 to 3 weeks just to work at Starbucks. 2 to 3 weeks of intense boot camp training, so that when you finally get out into the real world of customers who are in a hurry waiting in line, you can perform. It's 2 weeks of solid every day, not just like hour here, hour there. I'm telling you that because that's how it is in life. You go to school for 8 years to be a doctor, right?
At least. Yes.
At least. Yeah. You'd hope. Please, yes, please. I hope you were in school for 8 years. We get training. Steve, how long were you in school for?
13 years.
Okay. 13 years, so that he could do what he's doing right now. And you got a fair trade. You're happy with where you were at because that's what was promised, right? Okay. My point is, can you come to an event like this once a week and spend an hour or two learning from people who have already done it, finding those steps, and then following them?
Sure.
Is that too much to ask for a life like no one else will live for the rest of their life? Do you guys see where I'm going with that? It's totally acceptable to train for 17 weeks before you even step into the store. How about we train for like 2 hours? Ongoing, right? And by the way, it's free. I mean, come on. And you're learning from people who've already done it. So I'm not the one you always learn from. You learn from a lot of other people. And you know what? Scott's coming back in December. And there's we have people that come and they reach down and they help. Regardless of whose team you're on, regardless of where you're at, they don't care. Because they've already done it and they can help. So that's our presentation. That's our overview of Youngevity. And that was scratching the surface. But we want you to know what you have at your fingertips. We want you to be a part of our family. And we can do this if we all band together as a team. So if you're new, I would suggest you join as quickly as possible. Talk to whoever invited you to come and get the ball rolling. Because the longer you wait, the longer it's going to take. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee on your CEO pack, which is pretty crazy. So you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And whether or not you can stay for the rest of our event doesn't matter. We have meetings that go on during the week in the surrounding areas that you can just plug into, right? So we're in West Bend, Wisconsin every Monday night. We're in Oconomowoc every Tuesday night. Every Wednesday night, there's something that goes on across the border in the Chicago area. And then on Thursdays, we have 2 that are going on, one in Oshkosh and one down here in Greenfield. So you have options that you can come and plug into. And then we're here once a month, where we all come together and learn from each other and support each other and lay out the game plan. So does that make sense to everybody? Yes. Okay, that's our plan. So thank you for being here. Why don't you, we'll take a 5-minute break. We'll get your questions answered, and then we will roll right away. We'll begin our event. So give yourself a hand. Good morning. Yeah.
Totally makes sense. I guess it's in your
It's like a rubber bottle. Yeah, right. You guys pull it out, you can see it. Go to your back office. That's very good. That's awesome. Do you have an option? I don't know. Fred said something about $240 for the auto shipping, and I was like, I don't know anything about that. If you have an account now, you can go in there. Jay will help you. And then you just go in there and whatever you want. Yeah, I got live to your mom, but if you had to have swimming in Oshkosh years ago, and if I could just go and you've had to get for years, and if your game completely breaks, but the rate that went into my travel and stuff like that. But I've been doing now. I've been doing this stuff for now a month. Yeah, I do. Fred called me up and said, well, the reason why you're not so this is going to be a fun one. But I am. He goes, you are? I said, yeah. Who told you I wasn't? He goes, I don't know. He said, I don't. Most people don't. So I do. I mean, most people don't know Fred. He seems to always be. But it's correct because every hour. And I was doing it every hour. Your mom was when we said, oh, you're drinking way too much. You're doing like a bottle a day. Oh, yeah. No, she said, yeah, just a little spritz, that's about a week, and so I slowed down. It's supposed to be a lot. I came home last night, I had a half a bottle left in the fridge, and it was gone, so my kid or somebody threw it out of the fridge, but I do have to replenish, I guess, with your mom. I think you and I are square with that, and if not, I need to check in there. What did you think? I don't remember, I went to your house, and I think I took, I think what I got was I think what I remember. And so I might owe you the pendant, and I picked it up in the back of the morning, but I couldn't remember if it was that week or your mom, and I thought, well, you know what, next week, I'll come up and either give it back to you. Yeah. Either way, but I want to, you just come to show up. I'll show up and awesome. I have two, and I'm going to stick around. I want to hear your stories tonight. I don't know where people I know mostly the girls. Yeah, the guys, the boys were always doing all the heavy lifting, and the girls were doing yeah.
Thanks, Todd.
Feel my way through the darkness, guided by a beating heart. I can't tell where the journey, but I know where to start. Tell me how you understand. Say I'm caught up in your dream. Like that's the if I don't so that's fine. So wake me
Digestion is back. You're gonna have things that you're dealing with that gut issues. That's why you're having this pressure. More than likely you're having some type of infection. That helps.